What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. All right, so today we're going to be working on the Pathfinder. We're going to be actually doing the 15,000 mile service in this car, which there's not much to do in a 15,000 mile service. So if you follow the owner's manual, which is perfectly fine, especially if you have a maintenance plan through Nissan, I would suggest following that manual to the T. It basically says the 15,000 mile service is just a cabin filter, an inspection of the IKEY battery, and if you go to the back of the book for this service, it says a transmission service. Now, in the owner's manual, there is an addendum at the very beginning. As soon as you open the book, it tells you basically that they pretty much messed up when they wrote up the 15,000 what the 15,000 mile service was written up, and it says there is no transmission service that is not due to 90,000 miles. And all it is basically an inspection of the key fob and basically a cabin filter. That's all it is for the 15,000 miles. What I'm going to be doing, because I do take care of my cars. I kind of go above and beyond. I'm taking care of my cars. Just want to make sure they last longer than normal. I kind of listen to what the engineers, when they wrote up the book, said, but I also I don't follow them to the T. Pretty much like all my cars are that. Basically, every Cadillac I've owned has said like 7,500 mile maintenance for their oil changes, with synthetic 5W30, and I've always done them every 3,000 miles or when the actual 50% of the oil life hit 50%. So I've done them way before then. On this car, I'm gonna be doing the same thing. We're gonna be taking care of it, and I'm gonna be taking care of it properly, pretty much. So I do oil changes every 5,000. Owner's manual states every 10,000 miles for oil changes. I'm going to do the engine air filter as well, even though the engine air filter per the owner's manual is not due to 30,000 miles. I'm going to do it now. Before, every air filter on almost cars, every car is due every once a year, every 15 or 12,000 miles, depending on your driving. It is not going to be dirty as per se, but I want to take care of it. On top of that, we're taking a trip on it. We're going to be driving to North Carolina with the car and back. So basically, I just want to make sure it's properly maintained. Same thing with the tires. So basically, here's how I do my maintenance on these cars. On the Pathfinder, every 5,000 miles, I get the tire rotation and an oil change. Every 15,000 miles, I will do the filters, rotation, of course, and oil changes. So I do my oil changes every 5,000 miles for these cars. And then, of course, every 15,000 miles, I replace the filters and things like that. Every 30,000 miles, personally, I do basically a fuel injection cleaning, a throttle cleaning, and I will do the differential service, transfer case service on these vehicles. Again, the transmission fluid, I might wait to hit to 60,000 miles, but I do the other fluids on there. And of course, 20,000 miles, which I skipped, I would do the brake fluid every 2 years, every 20,000 miles, even though people out there will say you don't need to do it, it's never been done. Just, again, follow the owner's manual to the T if you want to be that person, which is perfectly fine. That's what Nissan recommends, but I exceed that owner's manual just to make sure my cars stay in perfect driving condition, especially since my family drives in these cars. So anyways, today we're going to be doing cabin filter, engine air filter, and inspecting the key fob. If you guys want to know how to do a engine oil change, which I've already done, there's a video. It'll be in the description up here. I'll put the little link up here for you. Also, I'm not going to go into depth on how to do the cabin filter because there is a video for that as well. Again, the description will be up here. It's actually a short. It shows you exactly how to do that. Mainly, this is going to be a video on how to inspect the key fob battery, which I'm actually going to probably replace anyways. But I'm going to show you how to open up the key fob battery and how to do the engine air filter. So when it comes to the engine air filter, right now, I'm going to be doing it as stock air filter. Basically, I got it from Nissan. Same thing with the cabin filter. Now, K&N does make a filter for this, but it does nothing in addition as performance for a K&N filter. It has better flow rate. It may make it sound a little bit nicer, but there's no performance rate. Also, contrary to what people believe, you put a K&N filter because it's got the oil, it's gonna ruin your mass airflow sensor. That's not true. But if you guys want to go ahead and put a K&N filter in the thing, perfectly fine. K&N does make an air filter. I will link that down below in the description if you guys want to pick one of those up. And I will also have the link to the factory air filter down in the description below. Again, all we're doing today is just a regular engine air filter. We're never going to be doing a K&N. I may do it next time this service comes up. Not sure. But just a regular engine air filter will be fun. Part numbers and everything will be down on the description below. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and get in here and reach down here and pop your hood open, of course. Okay, so note how the box is nice and sealed, and make sure when you're putting it back together that it's all sealed properly like this. If not, you can't set a check engine light for a vacuum leak or something like that. So just make sure the same way you take it out and do it from the factory, the box is sealed. Now, normally I always go K&N. In this situation, for one, K&N finally came out with the engine air filter, but there were none available for me to purchase. So I went ahead and went with the original engine air filter. Let's take a look at this after 15,000 miles and see how it looks. Look at this thing. This filter is disgusting. Look at this. And Nissan wants you to keep this per their owner's manual up to 30,000 miles. Now, it doesn't look, I've seen worse than this before, but it's pretty bad when it comes to it. I mean, look at all that stuff. Now, no, don't go ahead and blow it out or anything like that, but this is actually needs to be replaced. This, to me, it's done its job. Maybe it would have gone another 2,000 or 3,000 miles more, but honestly, this thing is done. Now, once you get the air filter out, go ahead and come in here and inspect the inside of the airbox. Make sure that it's nice and clean. This one looks pretty clean. There's no leaves or in there or anything like that. So normally if there was, you want to vacuum them out, clean that out properly before you put the new filter in. Now go ahead and grab your new engine air filter. Make sure you take the plastic off. You can't believe the stuff I've seen before. There you go, got a new filter there. Let's take a look in comparison what they look like before and after. All right, so put the filter back in. Now, let's just say this came undone here, which is perfectly fine. It should be a little bit loose. There is a little tab. There's 2 tabs on each side of this. They go into small loops, which is perfectly fine. You just gotta make sure when you push them in there that those grab on the bottom and you'll be able to feel it. So now, this is a little bit of a pain sometimes. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pull up on the box as far as we can and watch your tabs, your little clips here that hold onto the box so they like to grab onto the filter. And push the filter in. Try to grab it from each side. Make sure that all the sides are in. Work it in there. Make sure it's all nice and flat all the way around. All flush. Make sure your hooks grab onto those loops like I said. Down on the filter. Push the one tab in and the other tab down as well. Go around the filter. Feel it. Make sure that it's all in there. If you don't feel the tabs are in there in the back and it's not sealed properly, if you see the filter or the orange part of the filter on the sides, then it's not on properly. You got to take it up again, put on. You don't want any vacuum leaks. Okay, to do the cabin filter, even though I have a video on it, I'm going to show you again. There is a little tiny thing that looks like it has a flathead screwdriver here. Again, I'm not going to go into depth on this one. Check the video out. Take your screwdriver, push down on it, or if you can do it with your fingers, push out on the little lever there. Make sure that stays down. And then you're able to push on the sides and bring the whole glove box down. Inside, you'll see this white door. Pull on this tab here. Get it out. And the cabin filter's in there. Make sure you know which way the arrow's pointing. When you push it out, that arrow's pointing down. That arrow right there. Because that's the way the airflow is. And let's take this cabin filter out. And you're gonna take your new filter. And there should be any leaves in there. Just make sure it's just getting your blower is right in here. So just make sure there's no leaves and it's clean, just like we did with the engine air filter. But remember how we said the arrow pointing down and insert it right back in the hole. Then reinsert that back in there. Grab your glove box, push up on it all the way, and then bring this little lever down and pop that back in there. Make sure it closes, and we're all good to go. You're gonna wanna remove first, of course, the key, this part here, which is the physical key. There's this little latch right here. You pull up on that little latch with your fingernail, and the key comes out. Okay, when it comes to the key fob battery, it's pretty simple. Now again, Nissan recommends every 15,000 miles. I say unless the car is telling you that the key fob battery is low, don't worry about it. But it's up to you. You're gonna locate here. There's two little small tabs right in here. One there and one there. There's just two small holes right there. You're gonna take a flathead screwdriver like this, or you could do it with a paper clip as well if you have a small paper clip. Insert that in there and twist on both sides. Once it opens up, you can kind of pry around it slightly. Don't go too hard on it and get it to come apart. There is your battery right in there. The 2032 battery actually even tells you, it tells you the size of the battery right there, 2032. You can go ahead and pop that out, just one side here, pops right out. And you put your new battery back in. In this case, I'm not replacing the battery, but you guys get the idea. Then you go ahead and close it back up. Not hard to do. You'll hear it snap. And you're all set. Just like that. All right, so that is it. That is all there is to basically a 15,000 mile service. Now, again, I went a little bit over and above of what the manufacturer recommends. Did an oil change. I did the key fob battery and I did the engineer filter. If you want to do a simple cabin filter, key fob battery inspection or replacement, go ahead and do that. But again, I didn't do a tire rotation because the tires are brand new on this car, so I just bought them. There's a video up there for below, so you guys can check that out. So again, that is pretty much all there is to that 15,000 mile service. My suggestion is always taking it to the dealer to have them properly inspect everything else, because if there's anything that they might find on there or you have little concerns in the car, the dealers pretty much be appropriate to do that. But if you guys want to go ahead and DIY the whole 15,000 mile service, there's not much to it. You could take that and take care of it yourself. If you want to save some money when you take it to the dealer, get your own parts. Buy your own air filter, your own cabin filter, and go ahead and buy the oil from Amazon or Walmart. Get a good oil. Don't get some cheap oil or something like that. But I will put on the description below some of the filters that I think are good that you could put on these cars. And you go ahead and just click those links and get those filters before you even take it to the dealer. So if you guys did find this video informative, go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more videos on the Pathfinder. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.